How far would you go for your dog? When my German Shepherd Diesel got diagnosed with cancer, the vet said treatment would cost $18,000 with no guarantees. I had $4,000 in savings. My ex-wife said I was insane to even consider it. It's just a dog, she said. That's probably why she's my ex. Diesel wasn't just a dog. He pulled me out of the darkest period of my life after Afghanistan. When nightmares had me reaching for my service weapon at 3 a.m., he'd be there, pressing his weight against me until I remembered where I was. When I couldn't leave the apartment for weeks, he gave me a reason to go outside. So I did what I had to do. Sold my truck, started walking to work, sold my grandfather's watch collection, the one thing Dad left me, picked up extra shifts driving for a rideshare company until 2 a.m. every night. Still came up short. My neighbor, Mrs. Petrov, noticed Diesel getting sicker. She'd watched him for me during deployments, loved him like her own. When she heard about the bills, she showed up with a check for $2,000 from Diesel's emergency fund, she said. I knew she lived on Social Security. That was probably her food money for 2 months. I started a payment plan with the vet, Dr. Ramirez. She cut her fees where she could, stayed after hours to give treatment so I wouldn't miss work. But after 2 rounds of chemo, Diesel wasn't improving. The cancer had spread to his liver. Dr. Ramirez mentioned an experimental treatment at the veterinary college 3 states over. It would cost another $12,000 just to get him enrolled in the trial. I'd already borrowed against my 401k, maxed out credit cards. There was nothing left to sell except the house. My sister called me an idiot. My brother said I needed therapy. Maybe they were right. But every morning, Diesel still tried to bring me his leash, even though he could barely walk. He still slept by my bed, still tried to protect me from my own mind. I listed the house, moved into my buddy Tommy's basement with Diesel. The house sold quick, market was hot, and I had just enough after paying the mortgage to cover the treatment and travel expenses. We drove 14 hours to the veterinary college. Diesel threw up 3 times, but he sat up and watched the road like he always did on our trips. The treatment was brutal. 3 weeks of daily procedures, medications that made him worse before better. I slept in my car in the hospital parking lot, but then, slowly, Diesel started improving. His appetite came back first, then his energy. By week 4, he was barking at squirrels again. The tumor had shrunk by 60%. The oncologist called it remarkable, said Diesel's case would be studied for years, might help develop new treatments. I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted my dog back. 6 months later, Diesel was in full remission. We were homeless, I was $40,000 in debt and eating ramen every meal, but he was alive. We moved into a studio apartment that barely fit both of us. I worked 3 jobs to start paying everything back. My family staged an intervention, said I'd ruined my life for an animal, but they didn't see what I saw. Every morning, Diesel would put his head on my knee and look at me with those brown eyes, and I knew he understood what I'd done for him. He lived another 3 years. 3 years of morning walks, of him stealing my pillow, of protecting me from the nightmares that never fully went away. He died peacefully in his sleep at 14, gray-faced and tired, but loved until the end. At his cremation, Dr. Ramirez showed me a letter from a family whose dog had been saved using the treatment protocol developed from Diesel's case. They'd included a photo, a little girl hugging a golden retriever. "Thank you for saving our buddy," she'd written in crayon. "I'm still paying off the debt, still living in that studio apartment, still eating a lot of ramen. My credit's shot, retirement's gone, and I'll probably work until I die. My family still thinks I'm crazy, but for 3 extra years, I had my best friend. He saw me through 4 job changes, 2 relationships, and countless bad nights. He was there when I finally got help for PTSD, when I reconnected with my daughter, when I started to feel human again. People ask if I'd do it again, knowing how it would end. I tell them about the time Diesel and I went camping, 6 months after his remission. He was chasing fireflies like a puppy, jumping and spinning in the twilight. He'd catch one, look confused when the light disappeared, then chase another. That memory alone was worth everything. The debt, the house, the judgment from everyone. Because that night, he wasn't a sick dog, and I wasn't a broken veteran. We were just 2 friends, alive and together, surrounded by tiny lights in the darkness.